And welcome back to another exciting episode of Comic Talks, where comics is always the top of our discussion. My name is Brandon.
Mary.
I'm Bryce.
I'm Romez.
Sorry, Brandon and Mary spoke at the same time on mine, and so I was just confused to what was going on. Anyway,
He forgot his coffee.
technology is working wonders in my neck of the woods, which is quite literally the woods.
But what we're going to be doing today, fans, we're not doing a draft. We are bringing back the Dream Team, though. But
Much appreciated.
But Mary hates me right now because I brought back something else she does not like. I brought back roles.
Listen, if I had to give something in order to be able to reuse members from my Justice League team, I'm gonna take it.
Hey, that's the thing with Dream Teams.
Punishment to expect me to make a Titans team without Roy Harper on it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we discovered that between Brandon and Mary, with all the DC drafts they've done, they're running out of characters.
Yeah,
truly.
Yeah, they might have to. Y'all might have to recycle.
Well, see, the thing with me too is
I'm waiting for the day. I'm waiting for the day when we do a DC draft and Brandon has to choose Mogo as his leader.
Oh, that is never going to happen. I'll just say I'm not going to have a team at that point, and I'm just done.
Yeah, that's going to be me if I ever have to put a bat on.
I guess it'll be just you and me, Bryce.
Guess so. Anyway, for my leader, I'm choosing Mogo.
Please don't.
But yeah, so for our dream teams, we were supposed to have a leader, a tech person, a magic person, alien or space, a rookie, which is someone who has never been on a Teen Titans team, and then up to 3 extra members.
Mm-hmm. And again, those extra members you don't have to use if you guys don't want to. But the thing is, if you guys feel your team is missing something, you guys can add them up to 3. Now, how we pick the rules, Mary's going to go first, Bryce is going to go second, I'm going to be going third, and Rome's will be going last, and it'll be just a circle. No snake this round, nothing like that. The dream team. There's no stipulations on the teams other than the roles we have to fill. All right. The other thing we're going to be doing differently is we're not going to be just going leader. We're going to be throwing in, it could be extra members. It could
leader.
I'm going to put that Patrick picture up here. Wait,
Pat?
Patrick.
Oh, I thought you meant Pat.
I'm going to tell Pat now.
You should have put his picture on it.
I can get his laugh on there. I got it. But in total, let's go ahead and start off with Mary. She's going to reveal her first character on her team.
Yeah, so I'm actually starting with my 3rd extra member. I am fully going backwards here. So my leader is going to be announced last. But my 3rd extra member is Con-El Superboy.
Oh.
Specifically, like, the fun one with the leather jacket, not whatever that nonsense with a t-shirt is.
You don't like him with jeans and a t-shirt?
No. It's called having taste,
that's like
Brandon.
the one cosplay I can do.
That's a cheap.
You're going to hate me later. You're going to hate me later. That's all I'll say.
Okay, so talk about why Con-El on your team.
First of all, I love that character. He's one of my favorite characters. He's probably my favorite member of the Super Fam. Like, I love Clark, don't get me wrong. But Con is, first of all, he was the first one I ever got, like, interested in. Like, I watched Superman stuff as a kid, but I didn't really get into, like, supers and Kryptonian stuff until I read Superboy comics. I think he's really neat, and with some of the other characters that are on my team that we're not going to get to until the end, there's a lot of things that Khan struggles with that these characters can really help with, specifically in terms of, like, coming to recognize, like, what are and are not appropriate boundaries between adults and teenagers, because that's something Khan really struggles with, because no one is looking out for this kid, and that's something that he really needs, and that's something that I think that this team can help give.
All right, let's go to Bryce for his first.
My first character that I'm going to choose is my rookie. and it is a character that has only been around for a couple of years and was created by one of Mary's all-time favorite writers. I said sarcastically.
I'm trying to figure out which person I hate created this character.
I am going to choose Flatline,
Oh,
created by Joshua Williamson during his Robin run.
Mary's face was like, haha.
it couldn't have just been Williamson. It had to be that run.
I liked his Damian Wayne run. I think it did a lot of good for his character progression. I mean, at least one Robin has to progress in some way. I mean, Tim's just going to be 17 forever.
Crimes against Connor Hawk.
Crimes, okay, yes, against Connor, yes. I am not talking about his Connor Hawk at all. I am purely talking about his Damian Wayne and the fact that he
The
created...
whole run has been tainted by the crimes against Connor Hawk.
As somebody
There
who
are
didn't
no
grow,
redeeming
as
qualities
somebody
if you're going to
who
butcher
went
Connor
into it
Hawk
as a
like
Damian
that.
Wayne
I'm
fan
sorry.
with no exposure to Connor Hawk, I barely paid attention to Connor.
Butchered him beyond the point of recognition. It's a new 52 Roy situation.
Yeah.
So, Bryce, tell us a
That's
little bit.
that's like a new 52. Looking back at it, that's like a new 52 Bart situation.
Mhm.
But Flatline is a dope character.
I just looked her up. That is a pretty dope looking character design too.
She's somebody.
What does she do?
Like, imagine early appearances Damian Wayne, but worse.
Dang. Oh, okay. We got I like the edgelordness.
Yeah. I mean, her name's Flatline for a reason. That's what she makes people do.
Oh man, sounds like the last. You know what? I'm not gonna go there.
And the reason I picked her, one, I mean, she's a newer character, so there's a lot of potential left for her. I don't think she's had many appearances outside of that run. And yeah, I enjoyed her dynamic with Damian, and I think if there were other DC characters that tried to relate to her like Damian did, I think you could see a lot of growth in her character in a Teen Titans run.
Okay. Not a bad pick. Now, I am going to start things traditionally, and then I'll go a little crazy. I am going with my leader first, just to kind of get you kind of where I'm going with this, because I would love this to be kind of a post Judas contract situation. I'm going with Nightwing as my leader.
Nice.
I knew Mary was going to give me that look, right?
I was so excited when you said Judas contract, and then you broke my heart.
I know. But this character to me, and I'll put this out there. I didn't fall in love with Dick Grayson as Robin, or Robin under Batman, right? I drew in love with him because of the Teen Titans. I can't look at him without not thinking Teen Titans. And this has always been the team to me that he's always led. And I couldn't go past that. Like, to me, it was just like, right away I knew that. I think Mary will like the rest of my team except one character on my list. And I'll get to that here later on. Why I don't, because I know she has told me she does not like this character on the team. But I'm not going to say anything. Not right now, at least. I might wait to do that last to really get her to really enjoy my team. And then I'm going to sink it at the end with my last one. But Nightwing, I don't think there's really a lot to say. And like we said, we can only have the other rule we had for ourselves was we can only have two of the main five when you think of Teen Titans. This is one of them for me. And so I'll take that hit for me. I'll take that leader for Nightwing. But let's go to Romez. Romez, who's your first character you're revealing?
Okay. Since I forgot I didn't have a leader, so I just made it a little while ago. I'm gonna go with how I started with Tech Cyborg. Booyah, baby! I haven't read too much Teen Titans yet, other than like back in the day. But Cyborg is a Teen Titan. I don't like him as a Justice Leaguer. I don't. I think the movie, I don't like the depictions in the movie, but the movie did kind of put him up there with the Zack Snyder version. Put him up there with the other guys, but I like the last one that they had with the last run with Cyborg for the Dawn DC.
Mm.
Anyways, but I like
Really?
I like Cyborg, man. I love it's just I don't know, man. The Cyborg. I grew up with the show that got me into. Honestly, the show made me read the comics. But Cyborg was like up there for a leader as well. But I like him being part of the team as the tech, and I'm not too familiar with DC characters as well.
No worries. Now let's go turn it back over to Mary for your next reveal.
Yeah, so extra number 2 is Greta Hayes' secret.
Is who?
Greta Hayes' secret?
I have no idea who that is. Please explain.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
You should know who she is because she's one of Bart's friends.
I've not read the solo Impulse comics.
She was on Young Justice with him.
I've not read the 90s Young Justice.
And you call yourself a Bart Allen
that
fan?
one.
I call myself a Speedster fan. I never said I was a Bart expert.
Anyway.
Is this character?
Listen, I'm like
yes, but not from that trash show.
I'm like Wally in the sense that it took me a while to warm up to Bart.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rums. I actively hate the Young Justice animated show.
It's
Well, let's put it this way. That kind of lets them know that one of my characters is from that show. So I'm just gonna keep quiet.
God.
I'll keep quiet for a while.
Brandon might be being more the bane of my existence this round than Bryce.
Give
That's
it
because
time.
you have. Do you? No, I think I
I'll
might
lift
be
you up a
ahead of
little
others.
bit. I'll lift you up a little bit before I reveal that character. I told you
Okay.
that's gonna be like the
Give
last
it,
one I
give,
reveal.
give it time.
But there are a lot of things that I love about Greta. She's honestly like my favorite part. Her and Sissy are some of my favorite parts of the 90s Young Justice. But one of the things I really like about Greta is the way that she sort of has to like process the fact that she is a ghost and that she doesn't have a real corporeal form for most of the run. And the way that that kind of puts her in these sorts of positions where she like struggles with like who and what she is and how that allows her to relate to the others. And that also ties into like one of my complaints about the 90s Young Justice, which is the almost constant focus on the core four. Much to like the detriment of characters like Anita Fight and Sissy and Greta. And it's not that I don't like Bart, Cassie, and Con. Tim can jump off a cliff. I don't care about Tim, but the other three are fine. And, like there's so much emphasis on
Imagine
them,
if
and
Tim
even
didn't try to bring your precious con back like 99 times.
that's obsessive and creepy.
I'm not saying it isn't. I'm just saying imagine.
That sounds so bad.
Yeah, I don't know. Personally,
to
if I
cut
was a
the
clone who
tension.
struggled with being a clone, I don't know how I would feel about my supposed best friend trying to clone me.
I think
At
Mary
least there's lots of love there.
Yeah.
There's a Star
Anyway.
Wars conversation that could be had about that, but we're gonna stay on that.
But yeah, no, Greta's just she's really cool. I really like the interactions that she and Khan have. That was one of the reasons I wanted both of them on this team. Especially the way that both of them sort of like handle things like with their identity and how they relate to like their pasts and backstories and the things that happen to them. And I especially think that Greta is going to be an interesting person to interact with my rookie. And they've never met in canon, so I have a lot of cool ideas for how these two would interact.
Okay. Sounds like a deal. Let's go to Bryce. The bane of Mary's existence right there in the title of his thing right there.
Okay, so Mary might actually agree with me on this one, which I'm hoping doesn't last.
It made her spit out her water, bro.
Reminding you that I am getting you a wedding present.
Stocking stuffers.
But the way I see it, Flatline has never had any sort of stable mentor or parental figure in her life. And so who better to pick than the single best dad in DC? And anyone in the comments can argue with me if they want. I'm not going to hear any of it.
Jay Garrick?
Wally West.
Wait.
The single best dad in the DC universe, Wallace Rudolph West.
Okay,
up
full
there.
name. What role are you filling him in with?
Wait.
He's going to be an extra.
Extra.
I'm confused. Wait. Let's go back. Hold on. I'm confused. So you're picking that character or Wally West?
Wally West.
Wally.
I'm picking Wally West. I was just giving
He's
Flatline
explaining
some more
why he's picking
background.
Wally because
I'm
Flatline
explaining
doesn't
why
have any
I'm
good
picking
parents.
Wally for Flatline.
Okay. I get it. I was man, dude. I need to drink more coffee.
I mean, what dad was I gonna pick? Bruce Wayne?
Jay Garrick.
Roy Harper.
Roy Harper, there you go.
Más y menos, si podemos.
Jay and Joan.
Did you ever see Jay as a teenager?
Did we ever see Jay as a teenager? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, that was one of the requirements. That was one of the
I
rules.
know. I was joking when he said favorite dad and he said Speedster. I'm like, Jay Garrick?
No. The first time we saw Jay Garrick was when he was essentially a walking smoking ad.
Whoa.
Water
and that's
vapors.
the youngest we ever saw him.
Water
Where's my
vapors.
cigar?
And he was talking to sharks.
Speed for smokes.
Yeah. The smoke that fixes everything.
Yo, clear your windows.
Yeah. All right. No, that's a good pick, Bryce. I'm excited. I was like, Wally's got to make his team. That's why I didn't put Wally, but I do have another speedster on my team. So
Let's go.
let me see if I can get Mary back on my side here. Okay.
I do enjoy that Bryce and Brandon on almost every episode are like, how can we annoy Mary today?
Yes.
I'm going to do it
That's exactly
unintentionally,
what we
though.
do.
Hey, I did it first, all right? I'm the one that pioneered the
I'm
trend,
your hype
and
man,
I want that to
okay?
be known
I'm
to,
the one doing all. I'm hyping
I want
you
that
up
to be
here.
known to God and everybody.
I'll get Mary back on my side a little bit, okay? My magic character. I had to go a little bit outside the realm of characters you think of when you come to magic, okay? I didn't choose Raven. I didn't go to Zatanna. But there was a character that I went, he was a teenager. He still is a teenager. He just turns into adult when he uses his power. And I'm not going with Billy Batson. I'm going with Captain Marvel Jr. I'm taking Freddie Freeman. I need
First
strength.
baseman for the Dodgers, nice.
No, I'm not choosing the first baseman for the Dodgers. Remember, I'm the fan of the other team in LA, okay? So I can't root for them. But I like Freddie Freeman on this team. I don't think
Showing some bias, huh?
I I
Sorry, man. I couldn't help
It's all
myself.
good. But Captain Marvel Jr., you don't see a lot with him in it anymore. And that to me was like, well, why can't he be on a Teen Titans team? Yeah, I think so Captain Marvel Jr. is going to go on my team as my magic user. He is, but his powers are derived off magic. That's why I said, like, just everything about it, he gives me a strength aspect of the team that I feel like my team will lack. He does give me a lot of options. So I said, screw it. Him and Nightwing would be great on a team together. So I chose Magic. I chose Captain Marvel Jr. So let's go to Romez. Romez?
Next character I have, and let me know if it is right. I have my space character, which is Kyle Rayner. Does that count?
I'm okay with it. You guys okay with Kyle Rayner? I'm okay with that. Okay, Kyle Rayner, you're good.
I picked him mainly because he's Latino. So like I'm Latino. What do you cut? And I really like his story, and I feel like he doesn't get well. From what I've seen, I haven't seen him in too many comics lately,
Mhm.
and I would like them to interact with other people other than Green Lanterns. And I think just him in a I've never seen a Green Lantern in a Teen Titan book, so I would love to see that and like just the interactions. Yeah, and like I would love to see like just I mean how creative he is. I mean he's got that young spirit type of thing. So I would, and I just got his what he his the condominium the compendium. I just got the compendium,
Mhm.
and
Say
so
condominium.
yeah, I don't know why I said that, bro. I don't know. It's okay.
You got the Power
Y'all
Ranger
can give yourselves a
condominium.
second to laugh. Y'all can laugh.
Hey,
I'm
at
sorry.
least
I
you
didn't mean to
know you
say that
got
out
an
Don't
loud.
artistic
don't hey,
condominium at that point.
It's the coffee.
listen,
It's the coffee. It's
listen.
the
When
coffee.
you
It's
go
black.
when you go into the Kyle Rayner condominium, don't look in the fridge.
Yeah. Don't. We keep everything on the side.
That's so morbid.
It's a
Bryce.
it's a Latin household. You're supposed to keep everything out of the fridge. I'm just kidding.
That's not
Don't
why.
put that.
No,
I know why. I know why.
yeah.
But
So-
anyways, it's the Black Rifle Coffee. If you are watching, you can sponsor us. So wait here we go. Yeah. Kyle Rayner, I would love to see him interact. And like I said, Green Lantern would be awesome for Teen Titans.
So this one's actually gonna make Bryce really happy. Because my first extra character is Wally West.
Yay!
Hey, two Wally Wests. Y'all are like best friends. Yeah.
And
You know,
one of the
originality
reasons,
is a virtue, Mary.
huh?
I'm kidding. I said,
No,
you
I
know,
didn't hear
originality
you.
is a virtue.
Hey, who's stealing
No,
each other's
that
thunder,
does
man?
make me happy. That does make me happy.
Yeah, y'all stealing each other's thunder, man. You gotta chill.
And I actually picked Wally for similar reasons that Bryce did. Keep in mind, Bryce built his team as he goes, and I came in prepared. But we did not talk about this at all. I haven't talked to Bryce in like over a week.
So what I'm hearing is we either spend way too much time together or not nearly enough.
Y'all sharing the
And
same
he
brain.
lives
That's what
5
it sounds
hours away
like.
from me.
Yeah.
There's no excuse.
The synergy, I can feel it.
But I picked him for similar reasons. In large part because again, Connell needs and like when I say that Connell needs a dad, I'm very clear in that I do not believe that Clark Kent should be that person for a lot of reasons, including but not limited to their relationship is explicitly brotherly.
Yeah, he needs a father. He can't be like Anakin, you know?
But I think
Star Wars
that
jokes can be made by
Wally,
puns.
especially given the protectiveness that we know that Wally West has towards younger heroes, and also like Wally has an interesting relationship with Bart.
Oh,
But
I thought
he
you were
is
going to
still
say Wally has an interesting relationship with his dad.
I hear
that too.
rain.
That too. We do not like Rudolph West in this house. Um, but I think one of the things about Wally that I really enjoy is the way that he, much like some other heroes, will go to bat for younger heroes that are like connected to the people within his family. And like Bart is like he literally like froze inertia in time and then put him on display in a museum because he messed with Bart. And Con and Bart are incredibly close. And so I think that Wally would take an interest in Con for a number of reasons, especially once he realizes that like Con's life is kind of a never-ending nightmare. And he's only 16, and also he was just kind of like popped out at 16. Poof, there he is.
Whoop there.
And I think that these are things that would get him protective and more interested. And like Greta is also one of Bart's friends, and I think so far these are characters who Wally could be really interesting to mentor because of his own sort of experiences with like how much he hates himself a lot of the time, or like his issues forming interpersonal relationships, or his issues like interacting with his parents and the people who were supposed to protect him and instead hurt him. And I think that those experiences that Wally has had, coupled with the fact that like unlike some other members of the Titans, he hasn't had as much experience mentoring younger heroes because there has typically been other heroes doing that in his stead, could make for a really interesting dynamic with those three. And Wally's gonna get tied in with another one later on. But yeah.
I really hope Bart is on your team at some point, because right now
Bart
you're
is not on my team. I thought about it.
So you're assembling the Bart Allen fan club without Bart?
No. Those are the only 3 that are connected to Bart, with the exception of
Okay.
one character who does not like Bart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's turn it over to Bryce. Who's your next character?
All right, hang on. I'm
You're
letting
letting
the
your
DC
synergy
universe
come
speak to me
in. You're
here.
letting.
He's letting the rain pour over him.
I'm letting the universe speak to me here as to what role I should fill next.
Have
It's
you
the rain
ever
talking to you.
seen the rain?
So for my space character, I was going to pick Kyle Rayner, but I don't want to really copy Rome's.
Because I'm original.
Yes, exactly. I'm gonna pick my leader. And my leader is going to be Donna Troy.
Nice. That's a good pick. That's a good.
one.
That's a good pick.
Because when my only gripe with New Teen Titans 1980, this is my only gripe with the entire series, because the Deathstroke Terra stuff didn't happen, is that when Dick Grayson abandoned the Robin mantle, I wish there was a little bit more time between that and him and Judas' contract when he picked up the Nightwing mantle. I would have liked to have seen a good year's worth of issues with Donna Troy as the sole leader of the Teen Titans.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. No, that's a good pick, dude.
Because honestly, I think there are a lot of cases, especially early on, where she is more equipped to lead than Dick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's necessarily the case now, but it is something I would like to see. Plus, again, I think she could be another good role model for Flatline. That's kind of my whole thing here. Is like,
Everybody
take
revolved around
Flatline.
Flatline.
Well, yeah, because it's kind of one of those situations where you see a lot of the Titans be like, "Hey, this kid's kind of messed up. Let's let's help her out and show her what she should be doing."
Yeah.
Now, that's not going to be my entire team. My entire team isn't going to be a bunch of adults and then just a random child that likes to,
Whoa. Okay. I'm just kidding.
Let me finish a sentence, Romes.
Sorry, man. I'm class clown for a reason.
All right, because we're
Who's
on
next?
the talk to speedsters, and you guys are making me want to reveal mine. It is not Wally West, but it is my rookie. Going with Avery Ho. I am going with the Flash, Avery.
Ooh.
Wait, what?
I enjoy Avery. I've been looking so desperately to find a way to put her on a team, and this is the team I feel I could put her on easily. She has never been part of the Teen Titans in the past, but I feel like she could fit in so well with the rest of my team I'm about to say later on. I figured she would get along with Nightwing more, but I do have 2 characters I feel like those 3 would be like a trio when you really think of how they act. But I've been looking, and I was like, I'm not sure if Avery's ever been part of the Teen Titans. I know she's been on Justice League teams, but she has never really been on a Teen Titans team. And so I had to go confirm, and she was never on it. So I got away with it. But she's a speedster. I do feel that is something when you look at the main 5, that is a team that you do feel like there's a speedster missing. And when you go to George Perez and Mark Wolfman's run, you have Wally West. And I want somebody different. Like, I love Wally. Wally's my favorite speedster overall. But Avery's getting up there for me. Jesse and Wally are my top 2, and then it's Avery for me. So yeah, I'm going with Avery as my rookie. Let's go to Rome's. Who's your next pick?
My rookie is going to be Yara Flor. Shout out to Year the Collector, my ex co-host with this right here. He gave me this. A big fan of Yara Flor. For those that don't know.
Yeah, I forgot. Rome's started the Yara Floor hype train whenever she debuted.
Man, dude, I loved
that
her
was a
comics.
few years ago. I remember that.
Yeah, man, I was so mad that they just just why did they give her that last issue? Like, oh man, it still bothers me to this day. It still bothers me. Like they didn't let her finish the whole. They just canceled. Anyways, but Yada Floor, I think she's bubbly. She's what she acts very Latina. I'm not gonna lie. So like I like that fiery that fiery side of her, and I think she would be fun on the team, like to bring like a new type of energy, and like plus like I know she's Latina, so like I think it would be good with the Kyle Rayner and Cyborg. Unintentionally, I'm making this like a very like what's it called? What's it called? Like inclusive type of like what do you call what's the word I'm looking for? Team, I guess.
I think
Yeah,
it
diverse. There you go.
Mhm.
There you go. And I didn't even plan that, but anyways, yeah, I think Yara Flor. Oh man, dude, yeah, I have a crush. If I had a crush, combo crush, it'd probably be her. Like
I thought
it's
it was Jessica
she's
Cruz.
awesome.
Probably, bro. I've known you long enough that it ain't no probably.
Hey,
Actually, I
we're
think that
not.
might have been one of the first things I learned about you is how much you love Yara.
Hey, like I said, she'll bring great energy to the team. I think, and then she's a rookie, so she's a little. She'll probably want to be like, you know what, like I could take charge if like the other guys can't do it. Like she'll do it. You know, she got that Latina that Latina in her, man. Anyways, I'm done before I go on too long.
All right, Mary, let's reveal your fourth character.
So this is going to be my rookie. And this is a character who hasn't been around a whole lot. I think she has like 11 appearances. And I'm going with Misty Kilgore, who was a one-time apprentice of Zatanna. She's kind of cool. So she is like trying to figure out how to explain this in a way that doesn't make me sound insane. Um,
Go for it. That's what the show's
so
for.
like in the future, there is like only one species still alive on Earth, and they're like fairy people. And Misty is like she's technically a fairy princess, and then she gets sent back in time, but has like her memories erased, and then she ends up like being Zatanna's apprentice.
That's not bad.
She's pretty cool. There's a lot of really interesting stuff that you can do with her, and I think there are a lot of really cool plots that you can do with like the whole time travel element, as well as again, like sort of the same thing that we experienced with Greta and with Khan, where there's sort of like the like almost like the concept of like what does it mean to be like me the way that I exist? Because she's not human, but she looks human. Khan is a Kryptonian human hybrid. Greta's a ghost for most of her story. So like there's all of these elements to them that sort of the inherent like dehumanization of being a teenager and like the way that you view yourself as like not fully like existing, but also you're the main character all the time, coupled with the fact that like they are like physically different. Like it's not just like a superpower. There is like something very different about their physiology, and I think that that can make some really interesting plot lines, especially with the whole time travel element and the sci-fi that comes with so many Teen Titan stories. Also the Speed Force through Wally, and like there's just a lot that can go on, and there's some really cool things that you could do there. And also, I really think she would be really cool to pair with Greta because I think their personalities would go really interestingly together.
I would read that book. I'm not gonna lie.
And I still
Oh, heck
have
yeah.
4 characters.
All right, Bryce, who's your next?
So for my next pick, I'm gonna pick my tech character, and I was struggling with this one for a minute because he's not somebody you would think would fit with tech as much as he would say alien related. But I think he would fill this tech role very well. I didn't want to pick Cyborg because again, Rome's got him, and I kind of want to challenge myself. But I'm gonna go with my favorite Latino character in all of comics,
Let's hear it.
Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle.
I hate you.
Dang.
That's also my tech character. I hate you so much.
Hey, y'all should both talk about it right now.
Yeah,
Y'all
that was
should
going to be
both
my
talk
next
about it.
character I revealed anyway. So go ahead, Bryce.
Yeah.
What was Jaime? Oh,
Y'all
man.
should both talk about it. That would be cool to hear y'all go back and forth to see who talks about him better.
Oh,
Well, okay, so Jaime is a character that I am still in the process of discovering, but he was also a character that the minute I first, saw, I think the first time I saw his character at all was in the Justice League versus Teen Titans animated movie.
Okay.
And I instantly fell in love with his character.
so you
And
took
then
the
I
cheap
started
way
reading
out
his
and watching the
comics
movie
with
first.
Blue Beetle.
You took the cheap way out and watched the movie first before you read the comics with him in it, man. Killing me, Small.
Well, I was watching that movie for the Teen Titans.
I
What about
know.
Young Justice?
Young Justice.
I
Yeah.
watched the Justice League versus Teen Titans movie before I watched Young Justice. But then I started reading his comics, and the first solo comic that I read by him was actually
Did you read the New
Graduation Day,
52?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Graduation.
which is a fantastic entry point for Blue Beetle.
I heard it's good. I haven't got a chance to read it yet.
It's fantastic, and I've got the two thick trades that DC released not too long ago for his first solo series.
Oh, they already released the trades?
There's two of them, and a third one is finally coming out, I think, to complete that run, and
Okay, I'm gonna have
I'm
to check that out.
absolutely getting it. But yeah, he's just a really fun character. He's somebody that kind of propels the Blue Beetle mythos into the next generation, obviously, but he also kind of ties together the previous two generations. Because if you didn't know, Ted Kord never connected with the Scarab, but Dan Garrett did. So you've got somebody with the intelligence of Ted Kord with the Scarab bonding of Dan Garrett, and you modernize it. So he's kind of the perfect Blue Beetle. And honestly, if they ever replaced him, I don't know how they would get anybody better.
Yeah, I don't think they can at this point because I think Jaime and Blue Beetle are like the what do you call it? The general public just knows him as Blue Beetle.
Well, like to go over Blue Beetle for me, I went back and forth between. I went back and forth between three characters. I could have easily went with Cyborg. I have another one which did make one of my extra members. I have three, and Blue Beetle. And when I really thought about it, I was like, Blue Beetle fits better with the tech position. I like that he's kind of the rookie that a lot of people don't. You don't gravitate to him with tech, other than with the Scarab, right? But he is a very smart individual.
Yeah, but that Scarab can do a lot.
Well, and also on top of it, Jaime is a very smart individual himself. So that's why I said having both those, I think somebody under Nightwing, it would actually be really good. There was another one I toyed with, but I didn't know how I was going to make this work with Brainiac 5. I don't know how I was going to make that work, but I toyed with it for like a second. And then I went, that would never happen. I'm done with this. Like, I'm not even going to even tolerate that. Blue Beetle, it was kind of my pick I was like, okay, I want somebody easygoing, but I also have other characters that really fit with him really well. That I feel like their vibes would fit, like go off each other. Nightwing coming off of Betrayal with Judas Contract, having that camaraderie with people that really care about each other and stuff, I think is something Nightwing needs. And I feel like with Blue Beetle kind of being the first one in that group, like him and Avery and a couple other people I have on my team, I think will be really good for him. So yeah.
Yeah, and kind of touching on Blue Beetle with my leader too.
Yeah.
I think Donna could really help him further understand the otherworldliness of the Scarab in ways that other characters can't, because she herself is otherworldly.
Agreed.
Like Themyscira, even though it's on Earth, it's very much like I would almost consider Themyscira to be just as much an alien civilization as a mythological civilization.
Yeah. In a geopolitical world, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. We turned over to Rome's for your fourth pick.
Okay, I'm going with Static Shock.
I really hate you guys. That was one
What?
of my extra members too.
Hey, dude, I grew up my team might be a little biased because like this is like around the time where like I really wanted to like jump into comic books. So like Spider-Man started me off, but Teen Titans, especially the show, got me. And then not just that, but like Static Shock show was out, and then what do you call it? The Justice League was out. So like back then, DC was over Marvel at that time.
It
Like, and
well, like even Static Shock too. When you really think about it, that's one of my extra members I have, and I'll go ahead and reveal my fifth pick.
you want to talk about it?
Yeah, I'll talk
We
about
can
it with
talk
you.
about it. We
Yeah,
can talk
let's
about
talk
it.
about it
Yeah.
together here. Okay.
All
Static
right,
Shock
let's
for me,
do this.
when you
Let's
really
double
think
team
with
this.
my team especially, Blue Beetle and him have a good relationship with the two of them. Those two banter off each other really well. I
Well,
enjoy.
yeah, dude. Like that's how that what do you call that Latin and like the like we both get along. We know what do you call it? We know how to like joke around with each other, even though we might take it a little too far. But
Yeah.
like I think like you just said, man, like Latinos and like we gonna be vibing pretty good, you know?
like even with Static is such a team player. The dude always works with people very well. I feel with somebody under Nightwing, he would get that courage he wants. Captain Marvel would be good for him. Um, I have a possible relationship dynamic with him, but I'm not gonna go that way yet.
Oh,
I do
okay,
I do want a
okay,
little bit of romance on my team. I know Mary's never been fond
okay.
of my pairings of relationships in the past. But there is one particular one I have on my list that I'm like, okay, I
You
could
gotta
settle
keep
with
it spicy, man. You gotta keep it spicy for the readers, bro.
But Static is just like Static is such I wouldn't say an easy pick, but Static is just like any team you really can think of, there's always room for a character like Static. And
Dude, Static's just so cool, man.
his powers are unique. That's why I say even though Electro like he would just bring it just brings a different spice to the table.
think I think what it is for me is that it's more mainly his like his character over like I care more about like him as like a person more than like his powers because like there's that whole Stan Lee thing like you care more about the person in the suit than the actual powers, and that's how I feel like with Static Shock. And then not just that, but like you can also bring in like what kids deal with nowadays, you know, and stuff like that. And like Static's always been, especially in his earlier days, where like they talked about certain issues that most comic book writers they tend to not want to talk about it. It might be a little taboo,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it'll be a perfect way. Well, with the way um my team is developing, I think it would be perfect to like bring some of those topics in and like have like a really good like dynamic and like the storytelling wise, not just have like big bombastic stuff, but also have like the interpersonal relationships and what they're dealing with at home and
Well,
stuff like that, you know?
so we'll skip over me when after Bryce goes. So Mary, let's go to you. Who's your fifth character?
My fifth character, I'm actually hoping this one makes you kind of happy because I went with one of the new gods.
Which one?
I went with Beautiful Dreamer.
There you go. I love it. I love it.
And I'm not as into the new gods as Brandon.
I love it.
I don't dislike them. I just don't really read a lot. But she was one of the ones that she was kind of a member, so like the Forever People in my mind, and this might not be an accurate statement, but to me, they're like the new god equivalent of the original Teen Titans.
I can see where you're coming from with that. That makes sense. It does.
Yeah.
Especially given that I haven't read a whole lot of them. So this is just like me trying to make sense of it. Um, but one of the things that I think is really interesting with her is the way that she has sort of been like she's been like de-aged and like things have kind of been turned upside down for her so many times. And I think one of the things that I really appreciate about her story in connection with Wally and then in connection with one of the other characters, and I guess technically with Connell too, even though I hate that storyline, is that like she has experienced like the loss of a child. And that is kind of one of those quintessential Teen Titans storylines, which is such a horrible thing to say. But like Donna Troy, Roy Harper, Wally West, it happened to Connell. Like this is a recurring theme,
Yeah.
and I think too that like she's one of those characters who wants to like mentor younger heroes. She herself has both experienced being mentored and being trained and sort of being expected to fit into this sort of role where she's like fusing with the mother box, but she's also still like a teenage girl. And like these are really complicated things to deal with. I have her as my space character because I have a different person for tech, although she definitely could have gone in tech as well. It was just so hard to find a space character who we saw as a teenager.
I agree with you putting her with with the space character. I know what you mean by tech, and she is very tech savvy. But I agree with you. Now it's kind of curious to see who you have as a tech. So now I'm kind of curious to see like how that's gonna work now. So I'm curious.
And I think one of the things too that I really enjoyed about putting Beautiful Dreamer on this team is that I don't actually know that she's met most or any of the people on this team. And I think that one of the things that kind of stops me from reading more New Gods is the fact that they're not as connected unless you are specifically talking about like Barda.
Yeah. Barter or Mr.
And
Miracle kind of thing.
I think that getting like especially forever people sort of more connected with especially the younger generation of DC heroes, that it can kind of open more avenues. Um Kind of like how we saw like a sort of resurgence in like DC space stuff in the 80s after like Starfire joined the Teen Titans.
No, that's a great pick. You when you said New God, I was thinking, she going with Little Barda? Please don't do that.
I did not go with Little
I
Barda.
was like, please don't do that.
I had a better idea.
Okay. Let's go to Bryce. Bryce, who is your fifth member?
My character, which I'm going to put in the alien role, is someone who is a human, but their powers come from an alien entity. Buddy Baker, Animal Man.
Sits Animal Man.
Kurt, leave it to you to do Animal Man. Isn't
Okay,
that supernatural?
do we see him as a
Yeah,
teen though?
and that's exactly what I was just about to say. Has he ever been a teenager in the comics?
Oh, good point.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
Never mind then.
Like,
Scratch
I
that.
love the pick, but I'm trying to, because that was what I struggled with space, because I had also toyed with Animal Man, because I thought he would be a really interesting juxtaposition with Wally.
Okay.
And
No,
then I was like,
I've got a backup. I've got a
but
backup.
have
It's
we
fine.
seen him?
Who's the backup?
I've got a backup. Saranic Natu.
Huh?
Oh, again, has she been seen as a teenager?
Was she not a teenager originally? She was the daughter of
Oh,
Sinestro.
I know. I'm not being like that. I'm trying to. I don't remember. Like, I can't remember. Like, I know that was the whole thing. Okay.
Yeah, listen, that's if you're worried about I'm not picking Aricia.
Yeah. Oh God. Even though I think Mary
Hey,
would
she
be
was on my
happy.
Justice League team.
Yeah, she was on your Justice League.
Kurt.
Listen, as a Hal Jordan fan, I can't in good conscience.
Also a Hal Jordan fan. There's nothing wrong with her.
Okay, fair. As a Hal Jordan fan who has met Steve Englehart,
Oh, you like to
I
throw
have
that.
to.
You like to
Why
throw
I
is
that
have
women?
one.
to, buddy. At this point, I
You like
get
to
your
throw that
point.
one around.
Yeah.
You have them in your DMs, so what?
no. But
I don't think you want that
I
guy in the
did have him
DMs,
sign
buddy.
I did have him sign my first appearance at Kilowog.
I did too. Yeah.
So, okay, just assuming that Saranic Natu has been shown as a teenager at one point, because in Jeff Johns' Green Lantern run, I always kind of imagined her as being like 19.
Okay. Like, I'll give you that since we allowed Kyle.
We
Like,
also did say that like
she gives
young
off that
adult
vibe.
counted for Kyle.
yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what I said.
We also did say that young adult counted for Kyle.
Yeah.
That's fine. And that's fine.
My other backup, who was also a Green Lantern, would have been Sodam Yacht.
I'm glad you went with not to, because Yacht's a little bit more difficult. Because last time I remember,
Yeah.
he's more of an adult. That's why I'm like, when
but
I've read him.
I solely picked Saranic Natu because I thought she would bring an interesting dynamic, not only being the daughter of Sinestro, but she currently leads the Sinestro Corps.
Well, she's a medic too. On top of it, that's what makes it so unique too with her. That's why I always like Natu. She's a medic. So just seeing how she is, I love the dynamic between her and Raynor. I like when Jon Stewart and her actually find a truce between the Yellow Lanterns or the Sinestro Corps and the Green Lanterns. But that's why I said it's a good pick. I'm glad she made a team. Now, like I said, I already went over my fifth character. So Romez, let's go to your fifth character.
Superboy, Connor. Yeah, I'm gonna just say I hate that stupid leather jacket. I really do. I hate that. Like, I hate that concept. I hate it. I hate it when they moved it back. The reason
Can I
why
ask why?
huh?
Can I ask
Because it
why?
looks so stupid. This is not the 1940s or the 1950s when they all wore those stupid jackets. Like it just looks stupid. Like, and then like they make he puts a shirt underneath. I'm like, bro, wear it with pride, dude. We're trying to hold a thing, and you're not holding any, like, you're not holding the strap down. You know what I mean? Like, you're not, dude, bro. Just show, dude. You on? Oh, I don't know. It's just I'm gonna go
Questioning
into
your
a
fashion
rant.
choices, bro.
Wasn't
I
that
dress pretty
version
well. That stupid corny jacket. He's got to get rid of it. Like yesterday.
wasn't that version of Connor like
The first original
like
one, yeah, but like I
yeah.
can't stand it, bro. I know
The one
what it could, huh?
So the jacket.
the one thing I liked about that version of Connor from what I've seen anyway is that he was like your typical hormonal teenager, and I thought that was hilarious.
So like one of
So
the things, the jacket to me is not like the like yeah, it's kind of like how I know that Roy Harper isn't Roy Harper if he's wearing a stupid hat. Where like if he has the jacket, he's written well and in character, and without the jacket, he is a husk of what he should be.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from with that too. Like I like
And also, I think the jacket's cool, but the jacket to me is also a marker of like, is this characterization decent?
because
Or
thank you, Bryce. Thank you, Bryce. So now I'm gonna talk because it's my turn. So with this is that the reason why I like Superboy so much is mainly because this is my first time experiencing like comic books and Superboy and like his little dynamic in the Teen Titans Jeff Johns run really like won me over because I thought he was I was like, man, the costume, like I kind of like the costume because I was like, well, one, I can dress as that if I ever need to, and like I need a cheap like
cosplay.
suit, but like I liked it. It was like it was natural. It was like he's got the shirt on, and then he just put some jeans on and some Timberland boots. Boom. Like I'm throwing the Timberland boots in there because that's what I would wear, but if I had the budget. Um, but yeah, not just that, but like I like the whole dynamic where he was like a little angry because like his DNA was split with Lex Luthor and him, and that really I gravitated towards it because I related a lot to his struggle with anger. And when I was a kid, I dealt with the same. I don't want to go too personal on here, but I dealt with a lot of the same issues growing up. So like, seeing that in a comic book the first time was really like, because I liked it.
It's like relatable to you. It's like
yeah, relatable. Yeah, I was relatable, and I really like. And then the sacrifice that he did towards the what was it, against the actual Superboy from, I forgot which Superboy planet he's from, but Prime,
Yeah,
right?
Superboy Prime, because that's where we get
Yeah,
Hyman
where he
from.
broke reality.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I just love that story through Jeff Johns' run. He was like my main favorite in that run, and that's why, no offense, Mary, but I just, when they changed his look, I stopped reading
to
Superboy.
me, that is him changing his look.
Like I
know, but that I grew up at that time whenever those comics were like on the stands, and like,
and really quickly too, Rome's, what position did you put Superboy in?
it was just a plus because I haven't done my magic, I haven't done my leader.
Yep.
And I have one extra one.
Okay. All
so
right.
this is my second plus.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Yep, no worries. All right, Mary, let's go to your next character.
We're going with my magic character. And this is a character, I have to be honest, I did not put as much thought into this character as I did my others. This character is included specifically because I don't like Beast Boy. And this character is kind of the antithesis to Beast Boy. And I picked Danny Chase as Phantasm. And I know that Danny Chase kind of got written out because people didn't like him because he was kind of the anti-Beast Boy, but that's what I liked about him, and I was mad that he got written out.
Oh man. Now Bryce got
I can
questions.
feel Bryce's anger from here.
So with all the blinking, bro,
He's doing more.
can't look at lights like that.
He's transponding a message through Morse code.
No, it's all psychic damage.
These are the situations my therapist told me about.
Just remember to breathe, bro.
But yeah, I don't.
You remember what your therapist said, dude? Your head's gonna get too red.
And so, like, part of my thing with Beast Boy, and this is that when I watched the animated Teen Titans, I didn't mind him, but when I actually went and read New Teen Titans, I found him completely insufferable, and I have never enjoyed him when he is written in a comic book. In a physical comic book, I cannot stand him, but he's fine in adaptations, and I don't know what the disconnect is.
Calm Meadow.
But yeah, so I picked Danny Rand because he's not Beast Boy.
So Bryce might hate me too after.
No, Danny Chase, not Danny Rand. That's a Marvel.
Out of all the main ones, Beast Boy was like the first one I went, no. I would never have anywhere on my team. Sorry.
So, okay.
I almost did.
For me, Beast Boy is towards the bottom of those 5, but he's not at the bottom.
Like,
I like him in the show.
Well,
Starfire is at the bottom.
Yeah, that's like those 2 are my 2 bottoms out of the 5 of them. Like, but let's go to you. You got your next pick anyway.
Okay, so my next pick is Magic, and again, just because I love this character so much, and she is probably number 2 for me on my ranking of that original lineup. I'm gonna go Raven.
Yeah.
I love me some unstableness.
Hey, we got that in common.
Hey, remember, Wally does care about her a lot. When we see in the first Blarf Wolfman and Perez runs, we do see how much he cares about her.
So, yeah, we don't talk about that.
I know,
because that was some kind of weird like psychic bond attachment, like,
and then she just disappeared.
Like Wally was unwillingly obsessed.
Yeah.
That's called love, bro. That's called teenage love.
So all I'm going to say is I'm going to go over my next. I have 8 characters in total on my team. I'm keeping my space character to the end because I don't want to piss off Mary right now. So that's all I'm going to say.
Do it. She trashed Beast Boy.
No, because I trash him too. Sorry.
Is it Miss Martian? Did you pick my least favorite character aside from Batman?
Do it.
I almost chose Batgirl just to really piss you.
I was gonna pick what's her name?
Very calm. Cool. Remember, you're in a meadow. You're walking through a meadow.
I'm contemplating my last 2 extras just being bats.
I was gonna keep her to last, but yes, it is Miss Martian. I don't understand the hate for her. I enjoy her character. I think she's interesting. I'm not saying there aren't writing problems with her, but she's not a terrible character. I know Mary's like, you are now uninvited to my X-Men themed birthday party.
Actually have to have one. This has become such a bit. Could I have to plan a birthday party now?
Listen, Mary. If we're being honest, Mary's actual X-Men themed birthday party would just be a party in her mind because it would be Legion themed.
I did wear my Legion shirt to Comic-Con this weekend, and I will have you know, I got a compliment on it out in the wild by someone I didn't know.
Congratulations, you found the one other Legion candidate.
But Mary,
I was so pleased with myself.
get your frustration out. Go ahead. I'm already been like
No,
preparing for it.
I'm good. I'm good because I don't want to keep this going so that I can go to bed.
Miss Martian, I like her character. She does give me that covert ops team feel. She does give me a lot of where I think she could fit in, and with her kind of being the outsider, I feel like Nightwing would be the one to kind of bring her in. But I feel like Miss Martian might be the hardest one for him to deal with because again, it's another outsider situation where it gives him vibes maybe of Terra at points. But I do feel like he'll find a good side of her to actually lead her to character.
You'll save money on the communications.
I like her character. I at least I'm not, and that's not my romantic ship, so I don't even want to hear that. I have another character.
Man, that
in
would have been
mind.
great, bro.
I have
That would've
another
been
character in mind, so I'm going to keep it under wraps.
Wait, so who's Miss Martian dating on your team then?
What was that? Oh, nobody. I'm
Who's
not putting
Miss?
her with
Oh,
anybody. I don't like her with anybody.
So
Oh.
wait, Mary.
so there's
Mary,
no
is
fun
that
in this relationship.
is
Not
one
with
of the
her.
reasons you hate Young Justice because they tried to pair up Connor with Miss Martian?
That is one of the reasons.
Yeah, I didn't like
it's
that.
not the biggest reason, but it's certainly one of them. I wouldn't have minded it if they kept them broken up after she literally like gaslit him and like literally messed with his mind. But
There's
no, they
that.
made them get back together.
It happens.
Let's go to Rome's. Rome, what is your next pick?
Hey, as long as you laugh at the trauma, you're okay, you know?
No, he's right though. It does happen.
All right, Rome's.
Sorry, folks. There's a little more, never mind. I'll leave it. Okay. I have Stargirl.
Oh, okay.
Almost took her. I
I was
couldn't.
about to pick her.
You gotta be prepared, bro.
To be fair, Bryce, you can because it's
Yeah,
not.
you can.
No,
Like,
Remember, you go
everybody's
off a
want
whim.
to.
You go off a
You
whim.
both of y'all picked both of y'all picked Blue Beetle.
That was his fault.
I actually came
We both picked
prepared. You
Wally.
came in like I go off a whim. You guys know I go off of.
It was your fault for letting me pick before you.
Anyways, I don't read. Okay, so like I don't know DC that well, so I'm going mainly off the show. Which I love Stargirl on the show, and yeah, that show.
Great.
That's a
And
great
then
one.
I
Great
listened to a
run,
podcast.
honestly.
I listened to a podcast and they talked about her so much. I was like, man, dude, I really need to read her comics because I think I want to read more of her, and I think she would make like a good team for. I think she would be great for a Teen Titans book.
Well, like seeing her
Like-
in JSA and you see her in Justice Society become like that teenage mentor, especially in the Jeff Johns run of it, where she becomes more of a leader focus, like with some of the new teenagers coming in and stuff. It shows you how much she's learned from the JSA and is willing to pass on. And so she is really good at that. So, no, that's a great pick. Now, we go
That's
to
my extra.
Yeah,
That's my
like
third extra one.
maybe don't date the one member of your team that has to keep his age a secret.
yeah.
Billy Batson.
Yeah,
Billy Batson.
Oh,
Yeah. Shazam almost got taken out by Jay Garrick.
Yeah, that was like one of the
And he was
funniest
gonna
things
do it
ever.
too.
And he had to reveal the secret too on top of it, which made it even worse. It was like,
Because
all
yeah,
I'm saying is one of the
Billy
reasons
and
the
Courtney were
JSA
dating.
was
Like
the
that's
best
fine.
team for Grant numbers.
Yeah.
oh, really?
Like it's fine. Like it's fine for Billy and Courtney to date. Like they're the same age. However, when you're discussing said relationship in Shazam form
Oh, dude,
in public,
that's vibes right there, dude.
let's
Not great.
let's go to Mary for your second to last pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so this is gonna be my tech character. And we all knew he was coming eventually. So my tech character is Roy Harper.
Yeah, I figured out.
And I didn't pick him so much for like there is this very post New 52 perception of him as like a guy who like creates tech, and that is not so much the Roy Harper that existed in literally any other comic. Because in any other comic, Roy is more someone who knows how to fix things. He doesn't necessarily make and invent. Because Ollie is more of the mastermind behind the trick arrows. It's more that Roy is a weapons expert to the point where he can weaponize anything. And I think that is kind of like the epitome of why are you doing this to me?
Yeah, you're torturing us right now. Put that
Why
crap
are you
away.
doing this
That's
to
two
me?
of our favorite characters in like the worst comic ever.
We both like both of them, and that comic ruins
I didn't
both
like
of
the way
them.
they did Starfire in that one.
I've not read this. I picked this up for like $3 on a whim when I was first getting into
You should
comics,
have
and I
only
just
got 50.
kept it.
You should have only gotten that for 50 cents. That's how bad that comic is.
Listen.
Uh,
The only reason I kept it is because I look at it and laugh sometimes,
But
yeah, it's-
and for moments like these,
I
your
didn't like
guys'
the way
reaction
Starfire
was
was in
worth the
there.
Yeah,
$3.
and
they
viewers
did
like
Starfire
you,
so good.
thank you. But
Um, but yeah, so Roy is kind of that epitome of like he can make anything into a weapon, and I think that's one of the things that like you really want in a tech guy. Like, yeah, he might not be able to hook everyone up with gadgets, but like if I'm between a rock and a hard place and there's a guy who can turn the hard place into a weapon, I'm gonna we're better set than a guy who can make me a spy device, you know? Like
You know, out of respect, I didn't pick Roy Harper because I knew you were gonna do it.
Okay, so I'm going to break my rule with this second to last pick of not picking anything that someone else has picked. I've got to break my rule because
Go
to
for it.
me,
You're not
they're
original, so let's go.
yeah, the Teen Titans aren't the Teen Titans, the Titans, whatever you want to call it, aren't the Titans to me without Nightwing,
Nice. Okay.
without Dick Grayson.
copying me, I see how it is.
Yeah,
Now you're the
I mean
epitome
it's
of
just
me now. You're not even the epitome of
He's wearing the shirt,
Mary.
and I was about to wear the shirt.
I am wearing the Nightwing shirt, so
You know what?
maybe
I
you're
almost
copying
just to
me. Who
piss
knows?
you off, Bryce. I almost went with Jason Todd for this, but I said no because I wasn't going to be a jerk, and then I should have went with him just to piss you off. but but that's the whole thing. Like I said with Nightwing, you can't really think of a team like this without somebody like him. Like I hate to say it like that.
Yeah.
It really. Now here's the question: you have Donna Troy as a leader. Who are you putting Nightwing as?
Second in command.
Nightwing's going to be an extra. Nightwing is going to be somebody that kind of goes in and out periodically. He's not going to be a permanent member of the team, but he's not going to be completely distant either. He's going to be somebody that kind of checks in on the younger members, sort of like kind of like he was in the Jeff Johns run. You know, when he would just kind of pop in and out every now and then. He put the Justice League in their place, kind of single handedly.
I get it. That's what I said. That's a good
See,
pick.
I'm kind of picturing like when the rest of his friends are trying to force him onto a team for his own mental health, and he keeps dipping out because he's trying to self-isolate again.
Yeah, he does
But when he
that.
comes back, it's totally not for himself. No. This isn't because he's in a codependent relationship with all of his friends. This is because he has to check on other people.
When really he just misses Wally and Donna.
Now, my second to last character, I'm going with the character that Mary and I discussed a lot about in 52 when we did that whole book series, and feel like this character needs to get a little bit of love. This is kind of my love interest to a certain character. I'm going with Natasha Irons. I'm going with Steel. I feel like Natasha is a great stand-in for this team. Another tech character that kind of helps out. That's why I say I had like that trio, Blue Beetle, her, and Static kind of working together a lot. But it's
You
that
got a
come
lot
on.
of text in there.
Yeah. Well, you can never go wrong with Tex. Like Tex is what like you have two strengths, you got a leader and you got three smarts, and even Avery's in that mix too. Tasha is just a character that needs a little bit more love. And I feel like with this character, she would be great for this. I that's why I said I wanted some different characters to give them a little bit more of a spotlight. And this is kind of where I figured Natasha fits in a little bit more. And we're going to go back over to Romez to take us over to his second to last pick.
No, I finally have a magic character. I'm finally gonna finish off the team because I didn't have a magic or a leader. Now I do. Magic is gonna be Mary Marvel.
There you
Does that
go.
count?
Yep, that does count.
Okay. Yeah. I think I read her in DC versus Vampires something war. And like she was so awesome in that comic, and like I really won me over. I was like, wow, like. And then I read a little bit of the Shazam run where she was in. I'm like, man, she's really going up there for me as like a character. I was kind of tempted to put her as like as a leader,
And
but
and she would have made a great
I'm
leader.
going with the classic.
Yeah, she would have made a great leader on that team. Oh, that's a great pick. All right, Mary, you got your last pick as a leader.
Do you have my last pick? And my last pick is actually going to be what reveals the theme of my team.
Well, let's go.
And so there is it's never picked up again. This is a thread that is completely dropped in DC Comics, and I'm really mad about the fact that it's dropped. But Roy Harper and Joey Wilson were going to start a Titans team together.
Yeah.
And it never happened.
Joey
And
Wilson.
Jericho.
Jericho.
Okay, I think it that one. Okay.
And Joey is one of my all-time favorite characters. And one of the reasons that he's one of my all-time favorite characters is his persistent pursuit of kindness in spite of perhaps knowing some of the horrors of the world more intimately than anyone else.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
an
his
understatement.
dad is Deathstroke.
Yeah.
His mom is also a mercenary, horribly abused by a family friend. Older brother dies due to inherited traits from their father. His little sister rips out, like, she literally, like,
One eye.
stabs out her own eye to replicate their abusive father. He tries to get close to his girlfriend and gets possessed by her family members, and it turns him evil into what he never wanted to be, which is like something similar to his father. Like, Joey is going through it all
the
the
trauma.
time, and no
Where
matter
was
what, he's
Wintergreen
like,
when
you
he
know what,
needed
I'm
him?
gonna be the kindest human being you've ever met.
But usually when people go through that much trauma, they're usually the kindest type of people.
Exactly, and he's so persistent. And one of the things that almost every single person, especially throughout New Teen Titans, who meets Joey, one of the first things that they comment on is the fact that when they meet him, they sort of feel an overwhelming sense of like peace and calm. And I think that's what kind of sets him up to be such a great leader, is because he's been through so much. And there are so many characters in DC Comics, especially younger characters, who have connections to uh, villain characters or darker characters who can sort of impede their ability to connect with a sense of a heroic identity, and also to like threaten to pull them into those same kind of actions. And Joey's kind of that perfect character to stand in as a leader and be like, well, that's not the
Empathetic.
only option.
He'd be very empathetic, right?
It's like he's extremely empathetic. And
Here's my
he's
question. How would you have him communicate? Like communicate his orders as leader?
so one of the really cool things with Joey is that, and also with most of the Teen Titans, is that almost all of the Titans all the time know sign language,
Okay, yeah,
which
I didn't know they all knew sign language. I knew
most of
some of
them
them
do.
did.
So especially Joey also uses AAC devices like light writers. He's been shown to use a lot of like text commands. And beyond that, Beautiful Dreamer has like telepathic abilities. And there are other methods like through Misty Kilgore's magic or Danny Chase's powers through Phantasm that can allow them to communicate telepathically.
Okay, cool.
He could also straight up just possess a guy and just talk to them. But
Him and Roy
help.
have an agreement.
Or Roy can make something to like so that everybody can understand what he's saying.
Exactly.
I don't know that Roy could do that. Like, as much, again, I'm a Trekkie, so universal translators are really cool, and I love Roy Harper, but I don't know that he would know how to make a universal translator.
Or just no, not just one for him, like through the sign language. You know how like nowadays like they have like those apps where like you can like translate either a different language or sign language and like it'll just read it out for you. I think
Yeah,
Roy
I
could
think
probably make something like that.
yeah, and I think too that like we often see a lot of superhero teams who like, and we do this in the military too, where they rely on like hand signals. And that's one of those where Joey would like really excel at that. But he's also like he's able to diffuse a lot of situations because he can just possess people. Um, and I think that's kind of an interesting way for because a lot of times when we think about the Titans, they're not necessarily the best at espionage.
Yeah.
I say with love and affection, they're not very good at spying.
Uh like a Nightwing got better at it in the long run.
They got better at it, but like when we think about the team as a whole,
It's
it's
not a
not a
good
strong
stealthy
suit.
team.
It's Teen
And so I think
Titans. It's Teen.
yeah. And so I think having a leader like Joey and then Roy, who was literally a spy for the government, having them sort of be able to help mentor in stealth as well as in just sort of being able to overcome like internal darkness would be really great for a
That
lot of these
sounds
younger
good.
characters. Also, I love the Joey and Roy friendship, and the idea of them as sort of like co-captaining a team is just very fun to me. Because the panel of them working out together where they're both wearing like ripped metal band t-shirts lives rent free.
That should all be part of the what do you call it? Matching jackets.
Yeah. It's like Bryce's trench coat, Thunderbolts. Now you got Mary's leather
Mandatory
jacket.
team metal t-shirts.
Yes.
Everyone has to wear an Iron Maiden shirt or
Even
else.
Superboy.
Even Superboy. What was it? Now let's go over to Bryce. Bryce, who's your last pick of the team? Or do you have
You
any?
know what? I'm gonna ask you guys to kind of help me out a little bit here.
Oh no, Mr. Unprepared. Okay, let's go.
Pick a family in DC, and I'll go with the character from that
Bat
family.
Family.
Arrows.
I'm trying to think of one that
You
I'm
know
gonna
what?
really piss
You know
you
what?
off.
I think just this once I cannot be the bane of Mary's existence, and I'm gonna pick somebody from the Arrow family, Mia Dearden.
I hate you.
You made me so happy.
Now I gotta change my last pick. Thanks, Bryce.
Bryce is invited to my X-Men themed birthday party.
Yes.
You have been forgiven for what it sounds
You
like.
picked my girl.
Okay. If you read Green Arrow comics and you don't like Mia, read them again.
Something is wrong with you.
Read them again. Like, honestly, I can't even think, like, I can obviously think of reasons that I love Mia as far as, like, her character, her backstory, the way she overcomes backstory, her relationship with Ollie, but really it's just vibes.
She's so funny.
I just vibe with Mia every time I read her in a Green Arrow comic.
Because Bryce was a jerk and took my last pick. I had to change my last pick.
Don't change it, man. Let's go, bro.
Well, because I have two other characters I was toying with. Now I'm gonna let Mary pick this one. Do you want a magic character, or do you want a character from Teen Titans Academy? No, Teen Titans Academy
Mary,
is not
there's
You're
a
very
asking
wrong
me
good.
to
answer to
pick
this
between a
question.
potentially cool concept and a run that wasn't very good.
I know. That's the whole point. That's why I said I have a character that I really
Well,
enjoy.
that's Teen Titans Academy. We're gonna give him a chance.
Okay. I'm going Primer. Primer.
Interesting.
Now, her power set is called body paints. She possesses body paints created from the DNA of superheroes and supervillains, which give her a variety of power sets she has. She can only wear 3 colors at a time, and those 3 colors allow her to use those particular powers. So she has like accelerating, this list is like insane.
I think Primer adds something more interesting to it.
Yeah. I had Mia Dearden as one of my backups. And then when Bryce took it, it's like, okay, I can't do that. So
Dude, you just
but
sorry, man. I could
yeah, but it's her power sets can just go as simple: accelerated healing, biofission, chlorokinesis, chirokinesis, like any color she wears, there's colors that particularly are set to certain power sets. She can only wear 3 at a time, and she has those sets. So she kind of would be like, okay, we're going up against this character, or we're gonna something like this. She chooses the 3 colors she has, and she kind of helps out with the team. So in some ways, she's kind of like my wild card. Like she's a character that could go either way. And so I kind of like that because it kind of gives me that sense of wherever my team lacks, she'll be able to fill it. So I'm gonna give it a primer. So let's go over to Rones for your last pick.
Okay, my leader is Tim Drake.
I think you just made the bane of existence to Mary now.
Hey, I'm going off of like the comics that I read when I was a kid. Cause Tim Drake was like he was the Robin at that time, and mainly it's just nostalgia, to be honest. So I couldn't really find a leader. I was gonna put Starfire at first, but
I'm kind of like Mary's eyes set just went closed. She was just like, please God, no.
hey, it's my team. I don't judge any of y'all. Hey, why is the judgment on me? I thought we were supposed to have fun.
All of us got judgment.
I
tonight.
judge everyone. It's not just
Yeah, she judges every single one of us. She judged me with Miss Martian. So trust me, I got it tonight too.
But I think I grew up with Tim Drake a lot because I was reading comics at that time. So I think Tim Drake would be a good leader because he's not too messed up, but he's gone through some stuff to the point where like he can relate, and he has like enough focus and less demons that he has like combat to actually lead a team.
Yeah. No, that's a great pick, dude. But all right.
I think someone agrees.
All right. So
Just keeping my mouth shut because I'm finally on Mary's good side for once.
that
And I
won't
know
work
it's
you're
not gonna
invited.
last.
You're invited. That's why.
But let's go over our list to end out the podcast. Mary,
Hey,
who's going to your team?
and I want a decent wedding
I
gift.
have Joey Wilson, Roy Harper, Danny Chase, Beautiful Dreamer, Misty Kilgore, Wally West, Greta Hayes, and Con L.
All right, Bryce, who's on your team?
So I have Donna Troy, Wally West, Sranik Natu, Blue Beetle, Jaime Reyes. Who's my magic character?
You have
Dude, you
Raven.
don't write this
Raven,
down?
obviously. Yeah, I had Raven. Flatline, Nightwing, Mia Dearden, and
That's it. Dude, you've already named all that.
Leader. I was gonna say it was Leader, Tech, Magic, Alien, Rookie. Yeah.
You got
Yeah,
You should
that's
be
three.
writing these down,
Yeah,
man.
I have them all right
I don't
here.
write anything down.
Bryce, go.
I didn't even take I didn't even take notes in college.
Yeah.
I know.
all
Not
right.
surprised.
All right.
Here.
My
Huh?
team consists
So
of
aren't you an engineer?
Yeah, I
That's
take
terrifying.
little notes now, but only because I have to.
my team consists of Nightwing, Blue Beetle, Captain Marvel Jr., Miss Martian, Avery Ho Flash, Static Shock, Natasha Irons, and Primer. And Rones, finish it out. What was on your team?
My team, the leader is Tim Drake, the tech is Cyborg, Space, Kyle Rayner, Rookie, Yara Flor, my favorite. Static Shock as my backup, Mary Marvel as my magic, Superboy Connor, and then Stargirl.
Right. So fans, let us know what you guys think about our teams. Who would be on your
Or
team?
who had the best team? Who had the best team?
Who
Which
had
we
the
know
best
who
team?
it is.
It
We know
wasn't-
who it is.
Thanks, Rhymes. I appreciate it.
Oh, well, I was talking about you.
It's okay. It's okay.
Hey,
it's okay.
Mister,
Yeah.
I don't take notes. You don't even know your team. What's your team?
Oh, as
What's
we
your team?
discussed,
What's your
it's all
team?
love between
Exactly.
Donna Troy, Wally West, Dick Grayson.
You can't even.
Anyway.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Sit back down. Sit back down.
But fans, let us know what you guys think about our teams. Who would make your Teen Titans team? Let us know in the comments. Who would you put up against? Who would be your villain for your Teen Titans team? We want to also hear that in the comments. You can check us out at Comment Talkers on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Comic Talkers. Also, check us out on YouTube. If you like this content, you want more of it, hit that like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and hit that bell notification so you never miss an episode. Also, check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And without further ado, my name is Brandon.
Mary?
Titans go. I'm Bryce.
Romez.
And may comics always be the top of your discussion.